The new Fates Warning is a long time in progress, just because of working on different songs and kind of getting everybody coordinated with schedules and stuff. But Jim wrote the music. I would say, I don't know for a fact, but I know that he worked at least a year on this music, and so he started sending me stuff towards at the beginning of the year, and I started working on it in February, early February, and I worked nonstop up until mid-April. So I worked for 2.5 months on nothing but Fates Warning every day, and it was difficult because I recorded demos for Jim to listen to of the drumming, and so I did those piece by piece, and I stuff that I recorded in February and sent to him. I would send to him, and then I would forget it, basically, and then I would move on to the next song, and then I would keep learning all the songs. And once I learned all the songs, I had to go back like 3 or 4 days before we actually went into the studio. I had to go back and I said, oh, what's this song I learned right at the beginning of February? And I couldn't remember, and I had to learn all the songs from front to back in order to record them in the studio, rather than the demos where I just pieced things together. So that was pretty difficult. And then once we got in the studio, I made sure I was prepared, and I got in the studio earlier and during the day and practiced the songs maybe an hour or two that I was going to record that day, made sure I knew exactly what I was going to do, and then we worked on those songs and recorded those songs. And then at night, late at night, I worked on the songs that I was going to record for the next day, and just make sure that I had all my parts down, and then I was ready for the next day. But it's a great record. I mean, I think people are gonna, there's a bunch of different stuff on it, so it's very cool. I'm kind of rambling on about it, but you only asked me one question and I'm rambling on. But there's a 14-minute song on it that's an epic song, and there's some shorter things on it too, but there's enough really cool, interesting musical stuff, and then there's a few things that are right to the point, but still have the integrity that everyone would expect from Fates Warning. So I think people are going to love the record.
Does it have a title yet, the album, or?
It has a working title, and I don't want to say what it is at this point, just because Jim might change it, or I know that him and Ray have decided on a title, but as I mentioned, they might change it, so you never know.
Isn't it called "It's About Time"? Maybe I nailed it. I don't know.
Something clever. Yeah, it is about time. That would be probably a pretty good title. The last Fates Warning record was 2005, I guess, and I wasn't involved in that. And I guess it's a long time coming for this one, but I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed. So,
if you were to compare it with the other 10 Fates Warning albums, which one do you think resembles most this album?
It's definitely heavier. But I think, as I mentioned, I think everybody's gonna love this one.
And talking about the Arc Mateos album that you did in 2011, is it in any way related to those compositions, sound? I don't know.
I would say the ways that it is related is the fact that I'm playing drums on it, and it's Joey, Frank, Jim, and me, and Ray and John obviously is the thing that's different. I would say musically there's probably some comparisons to that more than maybe anything, just because I think it's Jim's sort of place where he is with his writing, you know, these days, and the way he writes, the way he thinks, you know, as opposed to maybe back in you know, years ago in the way that he was writing. So I would say there's some similarities there. The other thing that's similar is I recorded the drums at the Carriage House in Connecticut, which and that's where the band recorded way back in the day. And so there's that similar. It's probably going to sound sort of sonically similar to that, I would say. Yeah, so it is, I guess, in a way.
Is there a producer for this album, or is it self-produced?
No, it's Jim, you know, and I think the rest of the band, you know, and the way I think we've all been doing this long enough, all of us, that you don't need somebody to, you know, kind of say, hey, I think you guys ought to be doing this here or whatever. I mean, we know, Jim knows, Ray knows, you know, what's best for the band and how what the band needs to do to, you know, to move forward. And so I don't think that there would be any need for a producer, you know, with Fate's Warning. Personally, I don't think that.
Do you know what, at least the release date of the album? Has that been set? When is the album going to be released?
I believe sometime in September, you know. Yeah. And I think it's going to set up nicely because there are, you know, we've got a lot of dates booked at the end of the year, some Europe stuff that they're working on, and European things. And then there's the stuff that we have in the States in November and December. So everything's sort of setting up for that, and, you know, hopefully for 2014 also.
So that means that for Mexico, you're going to be playing on August. That means that you're going to be playing a record that is not going to be out yet.
If you're going to play it.
If you play that.
Yeah, well, you know, when we played, we played in I believe it was November last year. We did some shows in Germany, Netherlands area. We did one new song, Firefly, when we did those shows. And I'm thinking we're going to do that. Who knows? Maybe we'll include a new song, give the people a taste of the record, but maybe not. I'm not sure at this point. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have the record out for Mexico at that time, and it would have been really cool for people to have the record. But maybe next time when we're there.
Sure.
But we're already looking forward to next time.
No. Baby steps, one at a time, Bobby.
It's all good.
Let's do this one the right way.
Yeah.